Come on, you guys can tell by the title what it is we're here to do today. Hello everybody, my name is Juan. Welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about One Piece episode 488 and episode 489 because I fucked up, dude. When I was reacting to those episodes, I did some research in advance to try to figure out if they were filler or not. So in doing so, I checked out this website and honestly, I only looked at the episodes that were titled as canon to the manga, and those episodes, for whatever reason, were not at that point in time on that list. So I just assumed, hey, they're probably filler, right? There were only two episodes. I didn't think it was gonna be that deep, you know. I didn't think it was gonna be that meaningful. And boy, was I wrong. Those two fucking episodes were. I might be getting ahead of myself by saying this, but some of the best fucking episodes in One Piece. At least based on the things that I'd like to see from One Piece, I think 488. Listen, it is a hot take, but 488 I think was a better episode than 489. 489 did have Shanks, and we'll talk about that. I think it was cool in its own way. I think there's a lot of things that are worth mentioning. That being said, I think 488 was better because it delivered us a story about an underdog who is. Oh, Lord. How about I wrote a fucking script. Let's get to it. 488 resumes with Blackbeard fighting Sengoku, with Akainu fighting the remainder of the Whitebeard pirates, and with fucking Buggy in the air with Luffy and Jinbei. And then, of all people, Trafalgar Law shows up in a fucking submarine saying he's a doctor? Personally, I really enjoyed the initial interactions between Buggy and Law because it seemed like at first Buggy didn't really want to give up Jinbei and Luffy. That being said, when Kizaru started shooting him, then he was like, take him, take him. Honestly, I think if it wasn't for Luffy, freaking Buggy would still be an impo down, and based on that alone, I think that beyond this point in time, they will probably become good friends. Even though there is all this fucking action going on, all these fights are happening, I think the most interesting part was Kobe. For whatever reason, he starts hearing the voices of the people who are dying because we're at that point in time we were in a war and people keep dying, and he can hear how they stop speaking as they die, and continuing to listen to these voices, continuing to listen to how these people continue to die, drives this man to tears. So much so he starts fucking running. At some point or another, Kobe stumbles upon a fallen marine, which conveniently, who conveniently happened to have this little locket thing with a photo of his family, and that led Kobe to realize the fact that, you know, sure, people are dying, but this is a lot grander than we were giving it credit for, because sure, we're losing people, but multiple families are losing their family members, and it was such an emotional fucking moment, dude. Listen to the soundtrack, dude. And as the admirals prepare to launch this gigantic fucking attack, Kobe stands up in front of Akainu with the following fucking scene. And honestly, I could not summarize all that if I wanted to. It was some of the most fucking mind-blowing shit for me, because from the beginning of this show, Kobe has been painted as this underdog, like I mentioned, and he's been around the whole time, bro. And he's been a coward. He's been afraid to fight. In the beginning of this war, he was like, I don't want to fight because I don't think I can handle a lot of these fucking ginormous motherfuckers who are out here in this war fighting. And getting this scene where he stands up to the most demented motherfucker and telling him all this shit, bro. Kobe literally cemented himself as a fucking character for me just for that alone. I think it goes to show how his mind functions in a way that's like, hey, I know all of you motherfuckers are okay with all these people dying without needing to, but I'm not. And he stood up for what he believed in that moment. And fuck, bro, like these are the One Piece episodes that I get up in the morning for. Okay, well, I'm not taking that far yet, but it's like that is the shit that I like, dude. I love it when Kobe's one of those characters, right? I think Bartholomew Kuma is similar in that sense, and for example, like Dragon. What I'm getting at is that these are characters that we don't necessarily get every single aspect of their life, but they give us enough hints. They give us enough pushes here. Oh, Kobe, you want to join the Navy? That's cool. Luffy supports him. We love that shit for you, Kobe. Kobe, you're incredible. And then inevitably, it leads to a point in time where he stands up to like Kainu, motherfucker. It's like, this is like the underdog story I didn't know I needed, but fuck, I love that shit, dude. That shit was fucking incredible. Kobe, and this is what I mean by 488 being better than 489. That I think that's probably not a popular opinion, but Shanks is cool, and I will give him his credit, and that being said, he is one of those characters that, while we have seen him present and we know that he's a powerful figure, we have gotten very little screen time on the man. And therefore, considering if you contrast the amount of screen time that we've gotten for Shanks and the amount of screen time that we've gotten for Kobe, I think it's unfair for me to be like, oh yeah, Shanks, like this motherfucker, he showed up and stopped the war, which is what we'll get to next in 489. But it's. I think Kobe just stole the fucking spotlight. The war, Shanks may have shown up to stop the war, but Kobe threw the first fucking stone, dude. And Jesus fucking Christ, dude, I didn't see that coming. And the way they develop these fucking characters, the way that they give him that little bit of fucking power, that little bit of hockey, automatically makes me assume that, and the grand scheme of it all, at the end of this show, Kobe's gonna be a sick ass motherfucker. And if Garp trained him to understand and develop this net, bruh, Kobe's gonna be one of the best. He, prior to that moment, I was like, that was actually, let me see. What was I getting at? Earlier in the arc, Kobe and Helmeppo actually witnessed how Akainu murdered this one innocent guy, and because of that scene, I developed this kind of far-fetched theory at the time. I thought it was so insane to think that Kobe, maybe Helmeppo as well, probably more Kobe than Helmeppo. I think Helmeppo, unfortunately, will not become that incredible in the grand scheme of it all. But Kobe, I thought to myself, there's a high probability of him fulfilling his dream and possibly even making a positive change within the Navy. And then we get shit like this, where you start to see the man develop in a way that we didn't even think it was possible for him to do. And it's like, this guy could actually get to that point. Realistically, I thought when I said that shit, I thought to myself, hey, this is a little far fetched. I might be fucking drawing at straws here, but this guy could actually become something, dude. And I'm just here like, wow, dude. I I have nothing but respect for my man Kobe, bro. And then we have 489, right? シャンクス見山頂上戦争ついに終結 And Shanks shows up to end the war. This motherfucker's like, I think the problem for me is the lack of action we've had for him. Because Yeah, we understand. He's one of the Yonku. He's cool. He's got power. He's cool. His crew looks like very intimidating. A lot of them look like, oh shit, like Kizaru was afraid of one of the guys at one point or another, and I was like, okay, if Kizaru's afraid, maybe I should be afraid, you know? And these episodes are too good. I am extremely ashamed that I was not able to capture my reaction. Seeing Akainu being afraid is so oddly cathartic, and like everybody was shook, dude. That fucking Shanks of all people. Some guy was even like, wasn't he fighting that one guy? I think what's fascinating about these couple of episodes is the way that they commentate on the nature of these ideas of justice. You know, you've got motherfuckers like Akainu who, in from the perspective of the Navy, he is doing incredible work because he has a sense of justice and he cares about it in such a powerful way. That being said, this motherfucker, in his sense of justice, in his like, oh, I'm doing the right thing kind of mindset, goes on about murdering innocent people, which is highly unethical. And it's like, it's such an interesting commentary. What I find most interesting of all is that Shanks, of all people, had the same mentality as Kobe, thinking that it's so unnecessary to continue this war, so much so that inevitably he says, hey, we're gonna stop the war here, and if any of you want to fight, you can fight me and my crew, which, fucking boss shit, man. In this episode, even Smoker, dude, threw a little bit of commentary into the mix, talking about how, let me see. He said something along the lines of like something is wrong with our sense of justice, and both parties within this war were only self-interested, and man, little things like that, little gems like that hidden within this episode, because he didn't get a lot of screen time in this episode. It was mostly about Kobe, and the other one was mostly about Shanks, but then they gave us that little moment with Smoker where he's actually questioning the nature of this fucking pirate world, and it's like, I fucking love Smoker, dude. I gotta say, this guy, like, we come back to the point that's like, fucked up shit is happening. The Navy sometimes has something to do with it. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's other bitches who's doing fucked up shit. But if you participate in this system, and you see some fucked up shit, and at no point do you question, hey, maybe we're not doing the right thing, I think there's something wrong with that. Whenever you get motherfuckers like Smoker being like, something is not right here, it gives us a sense of an idea as to what it is, or how it is that his mind functions in the way that he thinks about all these things. Because, sure, you're supposed to be here standing for justice, but when all these bodies just keep piling up, it's like, what are you actually really even doing in this war, right? Bruh, even Trafalgar Law was like so excited to get to see one of the Yonku. And another interesting interaction, again, included Buggy, was with him and Shanks, because we know that in the past they were on the Roger's ship, and so they have some history together, and Shanks asked him to give Luffy the straw hat back, because at some point or another Luffy lost it, and that is where that came in. And I was kind of confused whenever I got to episode 490 as to how it is that the hat even got into the hands of Trafalgar Law, because Luffy didn't have it, right? So then Luffy, or what I mean, Shanks gives it to Buggy to give it to Law, and it's like, come on. Little shit like that. I don't know, man. It just makes it so much cooler. Like, then as the Trafalgar Law pirates are trying to escape, the admirals launch an attack on them. Damn, these motherfuckers threw everything they had at them. Like, sheesh. Dude, there are so many little gems hidden within this. You know, Shanks shows up to end the war, and when that happens, everybody kind of starts dissolving, and Hawkeye's fucking Dracula Mihawk is like, I agreed to fight Whitebeard. I no longer need to be here. He starts to head out, and bruh, it's like another one of the situations that kind of cements Dracula Mihawk as an incredible character, because I've talked about this in the past, where um, people who stumble upon incredible power, who work their ass off to become a higher degree than just the like normal individual, uh, um, and what they choose to do with that power is so fucking indicative of the kind of person they are, the kind of character they are. And for example, Draco Mihawk here being like, I came to fight Whitebeard. Whitebeard is dead. My business here is finished. And it's so fucking cool to me, because he could easily be one of those motherfuckers that's like, oh, I love murdering. Oh, I'm so OP. I'm gonna take all you motherfuckers out. But it's almost like throughout the entirety of the war, he didn't swing his sword without need. He didn't do anything that was like ethically unfair, or like dementedly fucked up, like a lot of these other characters. And I got respect for the man. We've talked about this in the tier list that I did, and you can flame the man for working with the government, probably for his self interest as well. But he, I think, might come to play a greater part than we're capable of understanding at this point in time. I think Mihawk, fantastic character, one of my favorites at least. So then Shanks says to Blackbeard, "What do you say? You want to fight?" And Blackbeard says, "I got what I wanted, and it is too soon for me to be fighting." Which, fuck no. Like, the thing about videos like this is that I almost feel the need to deconstruct every little fucking conversation that they had, and clearly that's gonna take way too long for me to do. But I think, for example, shit like that is cool because Blackbeard is capable of assessing how much of a threat that Shanks poses against him, and also able to say, I'm not ready, able to assess his own power in those situations. Because Blackbeard technically has a crew that we've mentioned of notoriously legendary pirates, and so technically they should be on par. No, like, considering all the power that they have, I don't really know if Shanks' crew is necessarily that strong, but considering he's one of the Yonku, could only assume so, right? And little interactions like that are so cool. He tells him, "Oh, you look more handsome than ever. That scar suits you nicely," he says to Shanks. And Shanks, I again, is one of those characters we haven't explored whatsoever. So I think that's probably another point in the future for us to explore: is what the fuck is this scar? Why the fuck does Blackbeard know about how you got the scar? What the fuck, like. Then towards the end, Shanks asks Sengoku if he could bury Whitebeard and Ace, which, my fucking man, we've seen that scene, or at least the place where they actually bury them, and so fucking nice. I think, I've analyzed Sengoku as kind of a tyrant to some degree, considering he was the fleet admiral for the Navy. And I think him being willing to take the blame for the loss of Whitebeard's body and Ace's body speaks a lot of volumes about the man being willing to, at the end of the day, let the man rest in peace. It's like, that's a respect that you earned. And like that, Marineford came to its end. I like again. I've mentioned this a couple of times now. Feel like the biggest tool because these episodes were so fucking good, and I didn't even like bother to record my reaction. I think what I've learned from this terrible mistake here is that in the future I'm probably gonna be recording my reaction to the fucking filler anyway because who knows, man? I might get into some good shit, you know. And so for the time being, I think that's gonna be it. The next upload you can expect from me will probably be Fishman Island. To be honest with you, I have been having a fucking blast watching One Piece, and it only makes sense for me to continue doing so. So, for the time being, I'm gonna leave this one here. I hope this did some justice to me being a fucking dumbass and not recording fucking 488 and 489. I apologize again. It's a shame. All we can do from here is move forward, though. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.